Good night, fellow punters. The clock on the wall says 4 minutes past 8. I'm in the Gateway Lodge again, and it's absolutely bucketing it down, and a good rattle of thunder every couple of minutes as well. It was threatening all evening. We were out for a drive in the evening in, where we were in Kilbeggan. We escaped it there, but it's absolutely bucketing it down. Went on for a while last night, and I went out. I rang a taxi. I seen a taxi in the folder that was left in the room, and he picked me up in the same sort of a vehicle as I'm driving myself, an automatic Mercedes 220 G diesel. So he dropped me down to Dams. There was a 50th surprise 50th birthday party on, and there was a man singing, playing a guitar. He was quite good. I had 3 pints, and I got home again. I was heading for the cot about 11:30. So grand night. Breakfast started at 8. I was down there at 10 past. There was 2 ahead of me. Cornflakes were the right brand. Plenty of sugar in the small packets. Plenty of milk, and I just had the mini breakfast and toast, glass of orange juice. Only ate half it. I'm just gone off the sort of the breakfast. I'd prefer a heap of fruit if it was there now this morning. So headed over to pick up John. He was ready. He was walking around. He was dressed like Johnny Cash, man in black shades on him as well, and he had a black carrier or a knapsack on his back. He said that he had filet mignon last night, €50, I think he said. It was $6.50 for a pint in that place, Lochesque. He reckoned it was too posh for him, but he wanted it, you can always say he stayed in it. Way too posh, he's not that sort of a fella. So we headed off then. We went to Glenveagh National Park, and it's about an hour's drive. So there's a castle there, so there was a shuttle bus out, or you could walk, or you could get a bicycle. So I says, what do you want to do? I don't think you could drive up. I think you had to take one of the options. He said, I will walk. And he said, how many miles is that? The Yanks are all still in miles over there. I was going to say about 10 to throw him off, to think that might be too fair. But I couldn't tell lies to him, so I said, it's 2.4. You have to multiply by 0.6. But he'd need the calculator, I said, to do it. He couldn't do it in the head. So I headed off anyway, and I think we were heading off about 25 to 11. So I was thinking of the match in Tullamore, 1:45. How long would this take? How long would be above, and how long coming back? Or where would we get to watch it? Because we're out in the middle of nowhere there. So I looked at the watch. There was about 25 minutes gone. So I tightened the grip on the hurdle, and I increased the pace, shoved her into 3rd gear. So Chelsea responded without any comment. He was willing enough. I was thinking if the horses I'd backed in the last week, if a few of them were as willing to increase their pace the same way as he did, I'd have made a few more pound. So we got there I said to him, how long do you think it'll take? So he said, I've no idea. And I said, Jez, we should make it in 45 minutes. So we made it in 40. And it was level enough in spots, but there was a good few pulls up and down, or little hills. So we went around that. He was delighted to see that. Took great photographs, and we had 2 bottles of water, and we headed back. We made it back in 35 minutes, I think. But we tipped it along nicely coming down. But I was reminded coming down, there used a fella, an old timer, when he'd be out sweating or out making the hay years ago, when he'd be sweating like a pig, he'd often say when he'd come in for a pint in the evening, he'd say, Jez, there was sweat around the ring of Kerry today. So you know what I mean by that. So there was a muck of sweat. I thought there might be suds around the ring of Kerry at one stage. But his clock went, or his phone went off at one stage. He said that whatever phone he had, or not his phone, his wristwatch, that his walking was done, or his exercise was done for the day, that he had 5.3 miles covered anyway. He said that he just walk, the watch does count the steps at work, and he walks. The steps accumulate to 12 miles. That he walks 12 miles at work in the day. Because I said to him, do you get anything done at all? If you're walking 12 miles, like, you know. I said, because if I was doing that, I get nothing done. So we headed off then. We went to, where do we go after that? Oh, Winsdor. I said that we do a sort of a ring of Donegal, similar to a ring of Kerry. We went to Winsdor, and we just landed in Dunglow at 1:45 for the throw-in for the Roscommon Kildare match. And we had he had a pint of Smithwick's, and he had sausages and potatoes, bangers and mash. He wanted to have them, so he's that done now. He's that box ticked. And we watched the match there. We kicked it away, although Kildare were pretty handy today, but we missed the power altogether. We made a few desperate mistakes towards the end, but we're not out of it. We'll be playing it probably Saturday now, but we won't be playing at home. Either playing Donegal, Galway or Cork away. So I'll be back for that. I'll probably go to that on Saturday, but I'll see what the day is like. Then I had the roast beef. It was grand. And only $13.50, and a nice portion. It wouldn't be as big a portion now as yesterday, but it was grand. It was adequate because it was nearly too early for me to eat, because it was only we ate at half time in the match. I didn't bother have dessert at all or coffee. We went on to Kilbeggan's then. Glenveagh first, and then went on to Kilbeggan's, and that's what was threatening Kilbeggan. So I didn't want to walk, but he wanted to go to the loo, so I went into the hotel. The kidneys weren't, or they're running a bit wild with him the last couple of days. He went on coffee and Guinness the other day at the one time, and he's running to the. I nearly have to bring the piss pot with me, I think, for we go to Derry. So didn't see what we'd seen the half-3 race. By your side was left a lot to do for someone that wants to be up at the pace, travels well into the race. He left him an awful lot to do, I thought. Finished second. The other one, there was a heap of money for Niall Rua. It was sevens last night. Finished fourth, so there's a bit of profit made on that. And the other one then hosed up. Evans was a good price when he finished up 8 to 11. So I made a few pound anyway. So tomorrow, I picked out a couple of. Where are we here? It's 7:05 at Windsor. It's a Nomadic Empire. Trained by David O'Meara. It's rated 89 now, but it was rated as high as 102 just over a year ago, after winning 2 races in 2021 off 93 and 99. So it started last year's campaign 102. It was won in Bahrain in December, but it prefers better ground. Now I'm hoping that the rain we're having isn't won't be coming there. But he ran in Bahrain again in the spring. They're 3rd and 16 to Dark Shadow, and 4th to Mobdadel. They're 2 decent enough runs, and he had a bad enough run then over 6 furlongs when his favourite a Deep Intrigue. 2 runs then, one on soft again. But I thought he ran his best race, 3rd run after the layoff, the last day. Isn't this the race? Haydock, 'twas. The one that Ratia won. That's him over with the white sleeves on the right hand
Big
side.
Empire is bang there. Towards the left, Cooperation with the black cap is running on. And then Volatile Analyst inside the furlong. Ratia, Emperor Spirit, the orange cap. Still Cooperation finishing off strongly. Ratia driven all out. Shadows of the post. Ratia clinging on grimly from Emperor Spirit. Very close for third between Cooperation.
He's rounding into Forum. He's a 6-1 shot there. I backed him each way. They're paying 3 places there. There's 11 runners. Sort of going for something sort of safe. Similar thing applies here in. I backed this at 6-1, but it's gone into 4-1 now. In the Giving. This is a filly's handicap, but 6 furlongs. Ran in an open company race the last time, but this one in Sligo, which was with Fozzie Stack last August, I was actually there that day. Put it up £12. It hosed up that day. Transferred yards into Willie Haggis. But the last day it ran in an open sort of a race. I mean open as in boys and girls. But it got a bad start, got bumped coming out of the stall, and it ran on. Now this was over 6, and tomorrow's is over 7. So I thought he closed enough, or she did, enough to the line to suggest that she's well handicapped, and she's in each way bet at 6. That's what I backed earlier.
Towards the outer in second, then
that's her second last.
Followed by Big R up the inside, the light blue sleeves.
She's second from the right now with the dots. The dots on the cap. She's coming on the very right.
And Mabuba inside the final 2 furlongs they go. Scallywag Bay, who got the initiative early, is still the leader. To Raven's applause in second. Leosa is now staying on from the back. There then followed by In the Giving and Big R inside the final furlong they go. It's Scallywag Bay trying to go from pillar to post here. Leads by length and a half to Raven's applause, who's now extricated for a run. In the Giving is staying on from the back. Scallywag Bay and Raven's applause. Raven's applause is beginning to get up. Scallywag Bay battling back, but Raven's applause got there. Beat Scallywag Bay into second. Tight for third between In the Giving and Leosa.
For someone that was so far back, finished a neck and a length and a quarter back against fillies, back against her own sex. I picked her out because she was 6s earlier, and she's 4-1 now with 365. It was an each way bet with 8 in it, the dead 8. What else did I look at tomorrow? The rain forecast in Nottingham. I hope they don't get what we're getting. But that team Endeavour, it won a race the last day. We had a horse backed in it, and it ran Puce altogether. I thought it was a dire race, that's why. But this won by a nose, but it was a terrible race. We were on Tarbert Ness, and I thought it was so bad of a race that might win. But there's a horse there, Geelong, nicely named. It's by Australia. Out of a High Chaparral filly. But this is rated 59 now. And it's starting off handicapping. It won first time out actually in Wolverhampton, but it's third first time in a handicap at 12 furlongs behind Pont Elias, and it was behind Harrar over 1 mile 6 in Chelmsford. And the last day in Chepstow, it stayed on well enough. I think it's a better horse than a lot of them in that race.
On the inside,
it's in the green.
Proud Warrior is struggling
with the
front 3, and Goodison
the
Girl
other one
is
holds
also
up
under
to
pressure.
the 6 to 5 favourite.
2.5 furlongs left to race in the Lidney Containers handicap, and it is Lusaka that leads the way. Prince Ali is now being asked a question, getting a tap behind the saddle and not finding a huge amount. Geelong is in second position. Lusaka is away, heading towards the last furlong here. And it's Lusaka with a 4-length lead, and that lead is growing. Geelong is in second. Prince Ali is struggling to get home in third. But Lusaka is going to win for the first time. He's going to bolt up in the last race. Lusaka gives Taylor Fisher.
I think that's a couple of furlongs will suit that horse tomorrow. Ran all right on softish ground before. It's good there now, so if it goes good to soft or soft, I think there's a chance that you could turn over that odd favourite. In Kilbeggan tomorrow night, the Galway play a trial, but I backed a horse there. I backed 3 6-1 shots earlier, the 3 of them each way. And I backed Winter Fog there at 6-1. I was sweetening in the last time he ran in what do you call it, Ballinrobe. But it wasn't off the air, and the stablemate went out in front and hosed up. But this is a good race tomorrow night. It's a good beginner's chase for Kilbeggan standards. You have IA Connect, Grosney, Uncle Phil. But the fact that it's 6-1 with Paddy Power, the green bookie, I backed him there each way earlier. The other one, the big race tomorrow night there, is the Grand National Trial. Good race as well. The Galway Plate Grand Trial. Just like last night, I said Schlitter instead of half solid. These things just slip out, and I don't know how it has happened. I meant to say half solid. I think it was like a half solid, not a half Schlitter. There's no such thing as a half Schlitter. But Vina Danza ran in, if it was a bit farther tomorrow, I'd be sweeter on that. Ran a good race the last day and against Saldier in Killarney. I was in Killarney that time. It was rated 140, 142 over hurls. But it ran well against Saldier. It's only beaten the nose, and it got interfered with at the last fence. He nearly drove it out across. Went to the shores, but they didn't get it. Too bright one last day. It's only a 6-year-old, that Vino Danza, or Danza. If they're thinking of going for the Galway Plate at rated 137, they nearly want to be winning. But it's 2 miles, 3.5. It's a better horse, or over longer. But on Tascott now on Tuesday. We're off in the morning early. We're heading for Derry. Thanks for a couple there that gave us shared a bit of information and advice of where to go. I was saying to him today he can have his oyster. He was on about having oysters because the day we passed through Clarendon Bridge, it doesn't open until the evening, or until on Wednesday or Thursday. We're heading into Galway. Clarendon Bridge is it's called the Oyster Village. You have the Oyster Festival there every year, so that was closed. So he said he wanted to have oyster and bangers and mash. He has the bangers and mash at. So we'll get the oysters in that place that somebody mentioned. Michael Coffey, it was. Welcome to the most newcomer. And somebody else mentioned about some place to visit there between Letterkenny and Derry. Muff, was it? I'll have a look at that and see on the map. I won't be going out tonight now. I'm not getting a taxi up and down again tonight, even though it's only a fiver. But I'll go to bed early. I might look at Ascot for an hour now and see. We went to the Strokestone Park House on the way down yesterday as well. But he wasn't too interested in that. I seen in through the window Michael Nugent with his apron on. He was making tea. Margaret was on the scones and the apple tarts, and Mike Phillips was holding Nugent's tail. Bash the bookies over and out. Oh, we went to Queen Maeve as well, and we seen where she's buried there on Binbulben, or Knocknarea on the way down as well. So we have a lot of stuff. He has great pictures gone back. He's delighted. So if he meets, I told him today Mary from Dunglow had red hair and money, so he was walking up and down the street for 10 minutes, but he couldn't spot her. Bash the bookies over and out.